Hi guys, and welcome to another review on the song review. I know this is the Smackdown review from Friday night. As I usually record the Smackdown reviews on the Saturday, but I was celebrating my birthday, so I couldn't actually record and upload to the review the next day. But like, yeah, I mean, like there's parts of the show that are really enjoyed, but there was also parts that were a bit sort of basically. So we start off with obviously John Cena and and you have Mark and Ash the new ring and or who again actually gives Cena's new request ring announcement. Go back and um check out exactly what Nash said in my Aurora video for the announcement. But like Mark and Ash, can we just get the elephant out the way? Here this guy just sounds very pantomime and very cheesy. He's not in the same bracket as Samantha Orville and Tony Chamo and Al in Garcia and or like Chrome, even though he's a tail or is better than this guy. Sounds it just sounds so cheesy and so forced. But Nash was seen as a uh, he knew like uh, didn't Halo is an announcement out Randy Orton before John Cena can or or and Orton gets in the ring and he says to and he says to Cena um it says to Cena what's happened to you, John. You used to look up to you used to you used to have kids look up to you kids all around the world to used to look up to John Cena and ever give up um title in the championship really are an inspiration to those kids. And then he said, and then he said, basically that, the, uh, maybe it's time he became a fad or himself and grew or up a bit as father who just held out Orton and gave him a responsibility. See, Ina chimes back with maybe mm, maybe the reason why I haven't ever had kids is because or as I was looking after are all these idiots children in the past when 5 years um uh, and you know the and as I've had to deal with this toxic relationship for 25 years ago, and it, it's very similar to the Cody Rhodes for you response, and then and then and he says he'll continue to ruin the wrestling. Um, he'll continue to ruin the wrestling and the tirist champion. Orton, Orton chimes back saying, "I'm the hometown boy back killer Ashes in St. Louis. His grandfather was a wrestler, or his father cowboy, or Barton who is in the business as well." And he said, "I have to protect their legacy, Cody Rhodes opening Mona, a world wrestling and has more than on the oil for family. He indicates the legacy that family is having in this business and wrestle and will provide more for my family. He basically, I cannot let you I cannot let you ruin the business as my family helped build, and John's and John's used to think he's gonna or and then and he hits Orton the and he hits Orton square in the head to if the mic Orton goes down in the canvas and and basically he's seen up it's to him for all a bit but um Orton manages to come back and go for an RKO has seen a tried to do at the traditional Orton hits the RKO on Cena's um Cena's sprawled out alone in the middle and the and Orton hoists up the WWE oh, I refuse to call it the I refuse to call it the undisputed championship because how can it be undisputed and Jey Uso holds the World Heavyweight belt on SmackDown and the aiming of the WWE Championship doesn't make sense. But anyway, enough of that. So then we get our first match. Mm, um, Ethan Razor and Axiom Ramon or are on the host and have been called up for Remainix evil aim onto the SmackDown side of the roster. Um, by actual he and the in commentary. Um, so essentially the basically reason for the standing there for any XT tag to change to put the bit else into and can and basic kill but some mechanism to call these guys up and basically the only could in the NXT and the NXT tag division and it's good to see Ethan for Azar and Axim get called up. They face Legado del Fantasma Bell and Angel and Angel Garza. That's is a pretty decent um yeah, this was a perfectly decent match for the first for the first um even on the main road um on um on the main roster obviously if you think um obviously as well if you think about it both had their time to shine and singles matches on the Europe on the European road to the WrestleMania spate of TV. Um, so so essentially, so that, so essentially, what this was was a very high for was a very high foul ironing contest to be basically what's in your falls in this match. Obviously the answers look obviously the answers took control during the break as all is as all is you um as always is you every was getting exclusive so uh for each as it goes to the break and it was very much almost as throughout the break and it shows the and it shows they can be a useful sort of set to get some of the new guys over the of both being around to the main or or for the next and it period of time and even though no the on the if us here and it still looked pretty good. I think Agado could probably do a very set and go back onto Monday Night Raw, but fa but Raxium it can come back and they eventually get them and by Ethan or Azar hitting Bell if the fifth innings well ashes been uh, um it's been it's been established that Ethan Fraser is as a pro on the GSF as a pro on the GSF Rollins and so this is s- so that says and I say for Rollins his favourite moves obviously for Razor has a to obviously for Razor has a to I think both I think both Ethan Free is an actually could maybe add a bit more uh, to the SmackDown division, but also as well, I'd rather um I, um I'd rather see them on the Raw because the Raw tag division could have done on one if could have done if both Axiom and Fury is because their all tag division is severely lacking in teams basically but hey ho I'm not the or but yeah they did still come still on here, and it'll be interesting to see if there'll be opponents for on the street of its oil around here as we get to the main event, guys. But we all know that we all knew the outcome of that ELC match, but we'll get to that fantastic match in a bit. In the back, obviously, is the Vega gets interviewed about the upcoming United States Championship match on the the episode. She said is it's important or her to be the United States champion as her heroes like Eddie Guerrero and the Rey Mysterio and the Rey Mysterio ends US champions and like these are guys that she looked up to, and it's important for her to be the United States Women's champion. So again, it's a good up I and it's good up for it are on in the show. Obviously, the next match is obviously an impromptu on Jade Cargill versus is finished that in a non-title match. Some here another promo exchange before the match. I don't know if it was the commentator or Jade Cargill that actually said that actually said the will be for the WWE Championship. I think the commentary has actually said that. I think Barrett mentioned it, but it was a non-title match, and it is what it is, guys. I wasn't expecting too much from it, but the promo before the match, obviously finished right and said she overcame Charlotte, she dethroned the King, and then it's time for a fit. She's in top of her game, etc. Outcome, Jake Argyle, who said she's done with Naomi just like you're done with Charlotte Flair here, and then it's my turn. I want to be the champion, so finished that and said, you want a match? Let's do this right now. Obviously, Nickel Aldis makes it official, and we get like a sort of half decent match here. Obviously, obviously, with I finished Latin and J- Jade. There was a bit more chemistry here, but basically, obviously, AJ Cargill being more the power so well. Here is Latin is more athletic and foul. Shane Paul, he seems to get a good um you get a good exchange in the match. Cargill hits hits their power moves, Stratton hits her handspring handspring elbow in the corner, etc. But before we could get anything meaningful, obviously, 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 Naomi comes out um, and attacks, um, and attacks Jake Cargill, absolutely destroys her on causes a DQ, and um, Emma, Emma arms are into the post a couple of times, and essentially, um, and essentially that's what it is. She basically screams, Jade is a saint over, uh, a saint so obviously, but I Ash is obviously, but I Ash is keep obviously, but I Ash is keeping up if the tradition of WrestleMania Rima actually is, and obviously this will be, and obviously this will be a WrestleMania Rima match. Obviously Naomi needs to pick up the win but I kill Ash so they could maybe have a rubber match. You'd have thought Naomi would have picked up the win at WrestleMania because she's stronger. Romo eyes at the moment, That's not to say Jay he'd option for almost it's to that Naomi. It's just that Naomi's been around a bit more in the main roster, and she's developed up to more of a comfort or um or a thing. Um, but yeah, I actually thought this was a decent matchup. Just j- 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 yeah, just a pity that it had ending a disqualification. As I've said in previous weeks, the disqualifications are happening with each often and it harmed harmed the WrestleMania build immensely. Harmed the WrestleMania build immensely. And the lead up to the show, here we get another day with Anish. Obviously it does set up the match, but they could have had, but they definitely could have had, they definitely could have had a free hearings, and a smash rather than a deep UEFA Anish. Just sort of take Shay out of it because I knew it was going to end in disqualification, and sadly that's the way things are. Um, so in the so before we get to the sorry, we see Nia Jax attack to finish Jira and after our Jira and stay here stood down Naomi. I actually would like to see another match between Jira and Naomi eventually, because yeah, they had a couple of decent matches when Jarrett joined up with the main roster. Or I think it would be a very good title feud, but we'll have to see. But for right now, it's not Jax that seems to be next in line. Obviously, that's who's Jarrett Ashton on. So I think we'll go only run back that. I think we'll go only run back that. Um, back that. Um, I think we'll go only run back that feud a bit. Obviously as well, and then yeah, I'll take anything I can get, because even though don't really like Nia Jax, I think um I slightly prefer her over Charlotte Flair here at this point, because the way Charlotte has been presented in the way and the way she's been acting, I can is princess backstage. It's just it's not right and it's not professional, and I think she's got a lot of heat in the war album is held by them. eh, so I'm not really too sure about her state as within the company. Maybe she is already been um maybe she's already taken herself off from um 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 la- last week's surgery. Wouldn't surprise me at this rate, 'cause she's turning into the wrestler in a villain of middle on at this point. But yeah, as of what it is, um, just as we were going to get something a bit decent in this match. Here comes this qualification finish, and it sucks. R space signal. Yeah, I hate this qualification finishes, and um enemies um yeah, so that's uh, yeah, so that's um get a couple of video packages on code roads etc. because he's taken some time off now, but you see him in the video package at the end of WrestleMania 4 him on very similar to the way John Cena sat out on a rampart or his horse of song to the rock at the WrestleMania 20, but enough of the rock because obviously the rock shows up and it's convenient for the Angel Johnson to show up, and it's becoming harder to separate him. It's becoming harder to separate him from the character, and it's a shame because um, I do actually love the rock as an on screen character. He's one of my childhood favourites, but for him to sabotage WrestleMania the way that and it kinda has left me with a bit of a sour taste in my mouth as a whole. And it's pissed me off. I mean, I mean, imagine injecting yourself into John Cena's heel and you don't have the balls to actually show up on WrestleMania. It kind of makes the whole heel turn kind of feel so only redundant. And as you would, I thought, why is there all and Austin Cena? They could have just on Cena's Huta on separately. That's the part that doesn't make any sense. Um, but anyway, enough of that. Obviously, obviously, we get obviously, so maybe you get John Cena being stuck questioned by um biker Abigail and but can you give us a Oh man, can you give us a comment about Rand Orton challenging you back seen Ina's got this thing really doesn't answer after the job on the list and the conflict and she's etc. He says it's a killer, it could be kill, string, etc. Um, um, so, try and again, and that's a continuation of this thread here. Seen as doing the best they can with this heel arc, even although the little Ops absence has kind of sabotaged it a bit. That's not um that's not an Ocon, um, that's not an Ocon Cena as performance, it's more a frustration, and it's more a frustration that the Ian hasn't showed up again with any we were supposed WrestleMania for him. So basically we have to wait um, until it appeals us or Johnson basically. And it's kinda pissed me off a bit, to be honest, but anyway, that's besides the point. Our truth catches up above if Cena out in the parking lot or my American or the so basically yeah if it's as or like it's my hero on Cena it's my hero on Cena good to have you back John you're the go etc Cena um um Ina just kind of etc for what if this in and as much as we all of Archer if as a comedy character on it would to been nice to show how evil how evil and corrupted John Cena is by having him attack I um by having him attack the bill of a comedy character Archer Fuzz. It would just actually add a bit more enhancement to it because Archer's character was the kind of sort of screwball sort of harmless mixed up character who believes Cena as his childhood hero despite Archer being a few years older than Cena and essentially um 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 and essentially it would be an smooth development and and it would enhance in that new role. I think if Cena's going to continue to be heel, that is something that has happen to really add a bit more heat to this um sort of heel persona. Um, but yeah, that's just his personal preference. Um, so out in the ring, you see Jacob for and so also work out. Obviously, he's a what he's a kid for Jake title, and he said that that was my a personal instrument in the destruction. I brought him in the Tongues when nobody wanted the Jacob Bub is Brandy. He does a common striker animal amoldi. He turned into amolded him into this wrecking machine basically, and um, and then basically that he'd credit Jacob Fatu before he could expand on it. Snatches the microphone. Snatches the microphone. One Ram so, oh, and he basically he said this is my type. Oh, unit Hawkins couldn't get the job on a hot people anybody that wants to take the title from Mr. Pop and this is not your and it's basically what he said, and this is me, Ian, and this is my district on auction outcomes Ruma. I can iron and he bigs himself um, and he bigs himself up about the destroying Amen Priest. And he said they um, and he said they want to uh, us, us, or I made them a mistake outcome, my outcomes, outcomes, when I sorry us and he said he wants his rematch for his belt. And he's interrupted by my McIntyre, my McIntyre, and says that he wants to challenge a big dog hard Jacob and I asked his bull. Yeah, I have history with I have history with so etc. And we had to test the bill until ein and basically um I, and basically the was and basically this was kind of setting up public what was a Kilmuggy and obviously as well and then so hangs off early nights who runs with the belts it's um it basically he said um um it basically said in the spot on stimmer I can I am bezo ongiga than your arfa I've and it I told it I told in it there so me and yeah the two of the get and um get and on on and around and it's scheduled it's scheduled for on only can it on an episode I should say um and then um and then so it's basically is up for a bit we are on in the you see in the you see in the back you see Naomi and I had getting a whole sort of confrontation um 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 I basically it says to Naomi basically you watch more basically watch more you're doing uh I'm the uh, I'm I'm external and Naomi said if you're going to approach me he proceed to a ocean now obviously the two obviously the two of them have an extensive history but if the team bad um action and the mid 20 ends you basically saw the start of a misery swinger agilely becoming more prominent but that faction is kinda um that faction is kinda known to get or obviously but if obviously but if the Simone Wade is obviously and Shabba and stuff like that but it's a nice callback um uh, um I suppose ultimately I'd rather ultimately, yeah, Duran or see Naomi challenge Jada but like as well, if it is to be either Shaw, if it is to be either Charlotte or Aya, probably it'd be better or in Aya Axe because Aya Jax has a good relationship with East to if finished Latin backstage. Charlotte's name is basically just toxic for the brand at the moment and essentially they've made a smart decision, obviously, to keep Charlotte off. As I've said previously, earlier on in this video, um, I think um, if reports are to be correct, um, if reports are to be correct, obviously, obviously, she'd get back heat on her backstage, and obviously with her attitude to not being the best, and basically, I think this is a smart move, and the match at WrestleMania is kind of a bit fangled, basically, and now I'm not blaming the on Tiffany Stratton, I'm blaming the on Charlotte Flair. Yeah, because the women can't really so well out of a wet paper bag anymore. And almost so leading up to WrestleMania with a shambolic and basically she's as popular um, she's as popular as or as on um or as Johnson would be if he had stepped back into the Celtic Park, because obviously if you don't know the comparison, look up Roger Hodgson to any football fans and then I know Sean will definitely be interested in that comparison. But but you know what I mean. Um, she's get that kind of heat on her now. Nobody likes her, to be honest, and she has only got herself to blame. So um, so then, so then, next matches obviously is um, as obviously is the Ina Vega of versus Chelsea getting for the in United each championship. Obviously is will obviously is will before Smackdown aired hour of before Zill. He never he got now it's her entrance music rhythm east on Spotify Apple Music Google and also on the W WWE Music channel. So obviously, still obviously, she is excited about as well. And essentially, and essentially, it was s- or or shad when was um obviously is if you were to pick the two if you were to pick the best belt between in the two men's mid-card um championships as the amount of EV each belt had has or you would obviously pick the United um States men's championship as the IC belt has only just has only just been lost into more storyline development, but both belts have been very hit and miss. But basically, but still, in a final leg, it's a rematch and they were just this here. But back her theme song for a minute. Now, as you all know, I'm very critical of the forever music group, to be honest. Um, um, I'm not really all that, but I give a fan of the forever group. I think a lot of their offers very hit and miss, and I'm happy that it's all in and big as excited about her release and um about her release to the theme song because I do and you know what I or the theme song itself, however, um, can, can be a bit too quiet and instances. It's also it also and it picks up the volume sounds a bit similar to the Megan and the Stallion theme song that opens up um opens up SmackDown now. I'll just he, he's a big fan of that music artist, but to me, but um, he as I don't really like the SmackDown opening theme. Obviously the music to the in as very similar to that song, so I'm not really a fan of it. But it's great to see it's great to see the be excited about it because I know a lot of wrestlers get excited about the theme song being released to the general public, and I do actually I do actually have the on my phone was list on X, So if you are actually, so if you actually come, if you actually come across the video, genuinely, it up, or yeah, and eventually, some, uh, she gets a big moment and then this match, and they really, and then he, he sort he cut, and then he really, he up, um, and then he really, he cut for all the errors that they did a couple, well, weeks ago of the stupid, um, after a stupid sort of count out, that um f- after stupid sort of count out that honey essentially I said essentially the match a couple weeks ago with was only and that but yeah he stems out and gets her big moment but I suspect the time will go back onto Chelsea getting in pretty soon, but that's not so Higgins is still in a week off. I do think she's talented, but as we go through this match here, essentially it's a good back and forth match between essentially it's a good back and forth match between the two ladies. Chelsea get her ring goes for all the kill so funny Chelsea uses but still in a kill opposite still in a hits a um so in a hits a at the start 6-1 but it's in offset it by Alba Aya Aaron Piper and Evan who are Chelsea Green's personal security some own oh as but as essentially Lindsay expanded upper and obviously is still in and then starts a comeback and uh, and her feelings on the outside by Alba for I are as Alba and septic Umba I can super X's vague onto the onto the mats and outside the referee the and catches but often of iron Evan ejects um obviously and and it's up to and it's up to Zell in a head scissors eek over to the so and to sorry, Elsie Giddy in the entry hits the code to the Ed on set Phil at Pink combination of the arc was an amazing Ed also famous so he uses his and it's the victory and becomes uh, in and the second ever women's US um, champion. Obviously, yeah, but woman, and as it's a first Ingles championship, actual pro or championship, um, not counting in the ins around title as that's is the special attraction run and so this is the first proper singles title she's had on the roster or uh, in either um in either NXT or on the main or on the main shows. She has held to the tag belts with Carmel, but this is the first major singles um, championship in the company, and she deserves it because she's got a um, because she's got a you will worry YouTube channel with the uh, she's got a very um she's got a very tight knit fan base that I'm a part of, but even or not the ZEV army as she calls her followers also as well she just seems very approachable it's actress in actually hear about this for and she's very active on social media pages and as well know all the companies big on social media on another she's also very good in and she's pretty decent on the autism. So about time she get given something. I hear I hear in some uh, am I hearing some sort of balance that she's only got the championship due to her husband. I was dumb. I was dumb. I was dumb. I was dumb. Whack. Or and but we'll get to that in the next segment. But that's only untrue. Oh, in has had the push the in a hashtag trend in for around a you on social media, and you really need to get some perspective of the eyes because some of you are the most stupid parts of the community. You basically and you need to keep an eye on and that stuff off at the moment. But anyway, I'm really happy for I'm really happy for the Vega and the right um and the are wrong here in the or I because obviously the count out is only and a couple weeks ago, and it was really a bit harsh on both a bit harsh on both wrestles. It was very intimate and esque. But yeah, and then the back coming he's has been congratulated by them as on and then on Jerry Memorial and back holder oil trophy obviously as well. Obviously yes and then Carmelo he's a new chain and then the shaper on Jerry's head. He put he gives it El come El he's puts it around his neck and he calls himself the 10th one under the world. I want to come out to the ring with a few is and Ajay is um um Ajay has not been on there so many called to mum I says no I need to do the as a new but ask and enjoy the moment so come he's in the back and they're both hearing all eight oots and obviously will get to in a minute. So out comes out comes as a, a very even Romo on basically the company and specifically when I called this for all even off the SmackDown portion of WrestleMania and um I was also said to over two-time Grand Slam champion and the beat John Cena at WrestleMania 27 and the main event, a former tag champ that won untag old at WrestleMania last last year and he runs off and he runs off more of his accomplishments. I can beat anyone on the loss. And I've already eaten on the Orton for the W type. Oh, and I cashed in my money in the bank. So so yeah, So in out comes Alistair Bell, and his traditional theme song starts in the that's a bad ass theme song. I'm happy that they've let me keep that theme song for now. I don't won't change it for for Rebel theme for the of a God. Keep that theme song. So I was the well that comes out and then it's so I get him off, but I was the but I can't say hits hits the my ass kicked in account as and that's a significance of the old right so that miss had on and as per almost a good to the on for Alistair Bell here, and I think this could either be a match for next week. Actually, I think it's already announced for next week. Obviously, Alistair Black, I think, will win that match because it's kill as he's always in the company, but predictable though that had to be as that was the foil. But I think Miz done a good job as always is on the mic, and it shows that they still have some degree of faith and but yeah, awesome to see Alistair back in the company. Obviously, I don't think Tony Khan ain't did enough with if Alistair back. Only Khan's get this habit of basically if or on everybody and if actions, and I don't think that actually works for a guy but acts how instant presentation. I think but that'll acts more of an enigma, and I think and I think that works so else on him, and it was nice to see the moment on social media that he and Zelina Vega had backstage because they are her husband and wife, so the two of them go on taking give actually each other, and obviously it could be beneficial for the two of them backstage have each other in the same company. They will have quite a strong relationship. So yeah, happy for the two of them because they're both talented. Although Charlotte fell, although Charlotte fell, yeah, and then Gerard they have been in the same company for months and look how that turned out. Just saying, obviously the next match we get early in the night, and obviously then X match we get LA Knight and Drew McIntyre for the number one uncontended shot obviously both guys get a good bit of offense in, but again it leads to the qualification finish. The it protects both eyes. Obviously, Drew McIntyre gets and out the ring pretty Easter actually um um pretty East actually yanks him out the ring and he wants revenge for WrestleMania. Obviously obviously is in eight swinging like you just yeah match for the United um States Championship. So it inserts Priest into that as well. Well, obviously, Jacob, obviously, it's Jacob annihilates, um, um, or at least in fact, you have, his sort of, you have his sort of fab action with so was a what in the background, and I like what they're doing here. They're trying to make the United States Championship a big prize again, and something of fighting for. It's just a shame it has to come as a result of a disqualification finish. It'd be interesting to see if it'll be just a standard rate of 4, or also be added to me. You get a fatal 5 way for backlash, because I'm sure that'll be a backlash match because they seem to be putting faith into Jacob Uso on his first title match to be on pay-per-view, and I think it'll be an interesting match. Obviously, if Solo gets added and make it a fatal 5, I can see Solo taking the pin, but if it's standard fatal 4, I can see either um East or LA Knight taking the fall. Obviously since Knight has lost in the singles match with already, it'll be more likely LA Knight eating the pin. It's just becoming it's just the one become a no logic here. After this, I think L in the night should go over or kinda um kinda have a race, and yeah, and it could be something you could benefit from. I see early Eastern market. I have been in a bit of a for a bit long or after us and to see how the or action member of solo actually manifests anonymity in event guys you have an excellent ELC match between I the study office in the most of machine guns obviously is it's a standard and able and some cheers match from back and and nothing but during the I should either a lot of or a high risk or some of years extra obviously on the Gurga and will get super X onto the actual onto the actual head that the heels it will look but it will it but it own is the guys the aesthetic go egg and then hatch they also used and they also used the word Abel's Eben and L he had desk on bones and he shot on um on on Montez what it takes him out the game as Ellism Eben who do Everton is and it's up to the finish where you see Angelo Dawkins hit the spear onto my Astra and put a very similar to the spear edge hitting Jeff Hart at WrestleMania 17 in the second ever Abel's had some cheers match. Obviously it's impressive because Angelo Dawkins is a big guy and the height he gets on this year is pretty impressive. It will apes out out apes out Champa and it will give this month as for want and however Hive himself get up the hand on and capture the hook of the bell and reigning tag champs on down to the street off it's now out out of the Smackdown but else are a lot better or share upshot and programmed on a show and yeah they're kind of more the or after or championships I think I think I've enjoyed the solid the street profits versus Axe. I think for the time being, they need to get away. Yeah, they need to get away from MCMG, who I absolutely love, but unfortunately, even in Shelley, they don't look to be going anywhere here as of late. Yeah, I think we'll have Champa eventually on Gurga. I know on the other yeah, about the both had them shots each other on and on each other and then it's Ebo both actually both actually they were um brilliant. I don't actually see much of a yeah why oh um um, here and I think the most also a machine guns will have to oh, aim all the way back. So essential. Hey guys, I think I'm gonna give this a seven. I think I'm gonna give this a seven out of 10. I don't think, I don't think that, I don't think that this was as enjoyable as Smackdown. As a more horse or last month. Eh, I think I think more all is the best of course to me in here. Sure, think on SmackDown's proper as a to the skill qualification and funny. She's kind of distracted far on the show. I gave Monday Night Raw offer last week a 9.5, almost perfect. This is kind of a more sort of so or show, but with good solid elements, but a fantastic main event shut out the show. And yeah, guys, that's been your SmackDown review, and I'll be back again to do the Raw review. Uh, um, Oro, um, each year and subscribe, and I'll see you over very soon for that.